to you from Resistance headquarters. It's Off the Grid.
With the music business heritage.
This is Warren Fox Jr.
And Marlon Huntsberry.
Providing the information that you need to thrive as an independent, to build a powerful leverage and carve out true empowered success.
Knowledge equals empowerment, and empowerment equals freedom.
Welcome to episode 6.
What's up, Mr. Huntsberry?
Mr. Cross, how you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm blessed, man. What's been going on with you, man?
Oh, man, I'm blessed as well, sir. I'm really loving the fact, like I said last episode, that we can really focus in on getting this information to these people out here. We had a couple of people to write in. You know, they're enjoying the fact that, you know, we're standing up to the giant robot, as they call it. Yeah, we're looking for people that have any ideas, whether you oppose us,
Yeah.
or whether you for the whole movement.
Man, give us your feedback. Give us, like Mr. Huntsberry said, give us your stories. This show is geared to be about you, not about us.
That's correct.
Man, we spreading the gospel.
Spreading the gospel, the off the grid gospel.
Well, hey, man, you want to go ahead and get into this episode, man?
Let's do it. Do it.
What is off the grid and why movement is necessary? Our definition of off the grid means that an artist, band, or independent record label has decided to maintain ownership and control over their master recordings and to work their musical project using their own sources of revenue, their own connection points, and their own grind points. Off the grid is a concept that is created from the bottom up, meaning that you don't allow a corporate conglomerate to tell you what type of music is or is not acceptable, marketable, relevant, or permissible for you to create and pursue. That's our definition of off the grid, Mr. Marlon. Every time I read it, man, I get a little amped. Alright, now, man, we so constantly about this, things you need to know.
Things you need to know, people.
The things to know section is basically real important to us because it separates us from just giving you a bunch of hype. This is the tools that you can actually use to pursue this thing off the grid. Now, today, in this episode, what we're going to focus in on, Mr. Huntsberry, is structure.
The structure of your company.
The structure of your company is critical in doing this off the grid. The difference is when you do things with a major label, you don't have to worry about this because you're basically operating as an individual. The corporate conglomerate controls everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when you reject that model and say, you know what, I don't want them owning everything I do. I don't want them controlling everything I do. And you say, I want to do this for myself, then you have to get into the mindset of, now I'm operating as a business.
Right.
And that's where structure comes in. It determines how you're going to operate this thing as a business. Are you going to do it as an individual? Or are you going to set up a corporation? Or are you going to set up a limited liability company? You're going to set up a partnership? There's all different types of forms. But the key is we want to put this on your mind that if you're going to do this off the grid, you need to think about structure, Mr. Huntsberry.
Okay, so if I'm out there and I'm pushing my CDs, you know, my mixtapes, or my band is playing around the city or what have you, then what really motivates me to stop and take out the time?
God, I know it, man. Keep it coming.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I got to go to this lawyer and get this and blah, blah. So, like, what really motivates? What's the benefit for me to actually take care of the structure aspect?
Man, that is an excellent question, Huntsberry. That's why you my partner. It's several advantages and benefits to a person taking the time to structure their situation. First and foremost, when you're doing this thing off the grid, you want people to deal with you as a business and not an individual.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you better respect. It gives you better options. It gives you better leverages. In my experience over the years, Mr. Marlon, when you go into a relationship, a contract, and you enter into that contract as Joe Blow, the individual, people tend to not take you as serious as when you are Huntsberry Incorporated.
You know what? I happen to agree with you. There's been on occasions where people have come up without a name for their company and they wanted to contract stuff out. I've had guitar players to do that.
Yes, sir.
You know, it was always a better situation when they actually had their company and I wrote the check to the company.
Yes, sir.
Instead of writing it to them as an individual.
Right. You feel like you're doing business with a legitimate enterprise.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, as doing this thing off the grid, you want to position yourself like that because ultimately you want to be an ongoing enterprise. You don't want to be a situation where, okay, when I die, everything dies with me. And that's the benefit of a company. Your kids can take over.
They can take over your brand.
They can take over your brand and keep it running.
I got you.
Okay? Now, another benefit is that it separates liability of what you do as a business from what you do as an individual.
So if somebody sues you,
Talk to me, man.
then
Yes,
you
sir.
protect it.
Yeah, what happens, Mr. Huntsberry, is if somebody sues you, let's say a producer, a songwriter, guitarist, whoever, they don't like what you did and they decide, you know what, I'm going to sue Huntsberry. All right? Now, if Huntsberry is operating as a company and he signed that whatever agreement he signed with them as a company, they can't sue Huntsberry individually.
Right.
They're forced to sue the company that Huntsberry has ownership in. But Huntsberry's personal assets are not exposed.
So they can't take my house.
No,
They
sir.
can't take my car.
No, sir. Now they can try, but ultimately, because you did it with their business, you did it with your business, they're going to be limited from trying to get at those things.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now then the final thing, just real briefly, is that there are a lot of tax advantages.
Taxes.
Yeah, Uncle Sam's going to get his.
Right.
But the good thing about Uncle Sam, if I can say that, you know, that's kind of deep. That's a deep comment.
Hey, we love Uncle Sam. Anyway, go ahead.
But he encourages businesses
Right.
versus individuals. So when you set up a business, be it an LLC, a C Corp, a S Corp, a limited partnership, there are tax advantages that Uncle Sam has built into the system that allows you to get aggressive write-offs.
Okay.
So let's say you're spending money for something as an individual, you won't get a write-off for it. But if you do it as a corporation, you get a significant write-off, all right? So there's just a number of benefits to structuring yourself, Mr. Huntsberry.
So you get to spend first, in other words, before you taxed on it.
That's exactly right. As an individual, whatever you make, if you make $100,000, now we're not CPAs, and this is not tax. That's our disclaimer. All right? But if you're an individual and you're, you know, let's say you're making a salary of $100,000, okay, you're locked into whatever the tax rate for $100,000. That's what you're locked into.
Okay.
Now you can get deductions, but you're still locked in at whatever tax rate that $100,000 is. Okay. But as a corporation, like you pointed out, Mr. Huntsberry, the same corporation makes $100,000. Okay, let's say they have expenses of $50,000. All right, the $50,000 that's left, that's what you pay taxes on.
Ah, okay, I got you.
All right, so it's an encouragement to say, look, man, take all these write-offs.
Right.
Now don't go to jail.
No.
But take your write-offs.
Legitimate write-offs.
There you go, sir. All right.
Structure your company.
Structure your company. Structure your endeavor.
All right, sir.
Soldier. Off the grid, soldier. Off the grid, soldier.
Okay, Mr. Huntsberry.
Off the
man,
grid, soldier.
we about to hit into this off the grid soldier.
Man, that
section,
off the
man.
grid soldier this week, it just blew me away. This particular time, this off the grid soldier it's like a template for the future.
Talk to me.
I really foresee things happening like this. Now I know people are gonna say, well, that's, you know, once in a lifetime, but it's not.
Okay, I believe.
This is happening over and over, not to the same level
Yes,
per
sir.
se, but it's happening, and you can do the same thing. Never shout never.
Never shout never. That is a dope name.
It is. It is. He came up with the name in his basement, and he says it's corny, but it really means a lot for what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
You know, being an independent person, making a statement. He is really shouting a statement. Never Shout Never is a band. Now it's a band, but
Okay.
Early on, it's one individual, 17-year-old kid
Wow.
in Joplin, Missouri.
Joplin, Missouri.
And he had a MySpace page and a video camera and a guitar. For the rest of this program, click on part 2.
What have you done?
What are you doing?
And what
Will you do for the movement? We'll see you guys next time.
thrive off the grid until you emerge to get back on the grid on your terms, if you so choose.